Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'll be creating with the December Faith Art Box from Creative Retreat Kits. This is God's Plans, and since the devotional is talking about our plans versus God's plans and making sure that we submit those plans to God and be open to His plans being superior over our own, I wanted to do some prayer journaling. So I pulled out my faith binder. This is where I keep sermon notes and prayers and things like that, and studies and stuff. And so I will be documenting a prayer in here. And I have some plans of my own for 2021 for my online ministry and things like that. And so before I even dive in, I want to make sure that I pray over it and submit it to God. And so that's what I'm going to be doing with this entry. So I pulled out mostly going to be using products from the kit itself. I was trying to stick to just the kit, but the printables were just too cute. So I'm going to be using one of the journaling cards from the printable set as an accent element. And then I've also pulled out this stencil. I do believe they sell these as a 3-pack in the shop. It's like the diamonds. I think there's some crosses and maybe some hearts. I got this in a kit from Creative Retreat years and years and years ago. But the little wonky diamond shape really goes well with the diamonds in the kit. So I'm going to be doing some ink blending with that. And I haven't really been doing a whole lot of paint or ink and things like that with these kits. And so I thought it'd be fun to pull out some paints. So we'll be getting messy with distress paints. I do always do color matching for these. If you didn't know that, when I do my unboxings over on my blog and on my Instagram, I post color swatches of the Creative Retreat inks, distress colors, gelatos, Neocolor 2 crayons, all kinds of products that I color match with the kits each month. So that is where I'm pulling these colors from, is that color matching that I did. So we're going to just be creating some fun little elements on the page. It should go pretty quick because, like I said, it's prayer journaling. So I want to leave myself plenty of room to journal a prayer in this binder. Everything will be linked down below if you want to know what I'm working in or using and things like that. So let me go ahead and put you guys on fast forward and we'll put this layout together. Start by taking the pages out of my binder to work on, which is a good thing because I ended up having to throw away a set and refilm this because they were just a disaster. But I'm starting out with the stencil and some Distress Oxide ink in Tattered Rose. You could also blend the Creative Retreat inks as well if you've got those on hand. And I'm just using a blending tool and blending like a border, like a diamond border along the outside edges of these pages. I'm keeping it nice and light because remember, I'm going to be writing over things. I don't want it super bold. I want it a little bit more muted. And then I'm really just using the graphics from the kit as inspiration for what to fill in these borders with. So I pulled out a few different distress paints. I think I've got here milled lavender and weathered wood. And I'm just going in with a paintbrush and making some little designs. Like I said, copying the graphics. So doing little stars, doing little swirlies, and just adding some color to these border areas. Use what you have on hand. If you have markers, use markers. If you have crayons, use crayons. I want to try to do techniques and pages and projects that are a little bit more open-ended for you guys, so you don't feel like you have to go and buy 50,000 things to do that project. So you can do this with just the kit and whatever colored art mediums you have on hand. So I did my little sketchy stars, and then now I'm going to go in and do some weathered wood, little swirly bits. Not perfect. That's kind of the nice thing about this particular project and working outside of my Bible is I don't feel the pressure to have it be perfect. So you could very easily take this design or inspiration from these pages and incorporate it into a Bible journaling entry for sure. These particular paints don't bleed through your Bible page, and they're a little bit more fluid than typical acrylic paints. And so they're just a little bit easier to do designs and stuff like this with. But working in a separate notebook or separate binder or something like that kind of frees you up to get messy and try some different things and play around. So I'm just creating little border elements. And again, leaving myself plenty of room to prayer journal. I've got a lot of prayers, got a lot of things. I want to make sure that all of my big, ginormous, hopeful plans for 2021 are submitted to God first. I want to do, especially when it comes to my ministry work and what I do here online. I want to make sure that I'm fully submitting that to God and I'm staying within His plans for me and my ministry and not what I think is best or what I want to do or what's comfortable for me versus what's uncomfortable. I feel like God's calling me out to do some uncomfortable things, and I've got to be ready to do that. So I've got lots to pray about on this layout today. So you see, I added a little bit of pen detail, and then now I'm going to add some washi tape. I went through like 3 different kinds of washi trying to decide what I wanted to put on here. I ended up going with this glitter washi tape. This is an older one. I'm not sure if this is available anywhere, but I'll try to find something similar to it and link it down below for you guys. But again, use what's in your stash. There's a few different washi tapes from Creative Retreat that should be available in the shop. You could use something like that. This is just a little bit thinner and glitter. I mean, come on. We always need a little bit of glitter, right? And this glitter is nice because it doesn't rub off. So on the left-hand side, I'm just going to do kind of a statement piece. I could have made this like a tip-in and done some more journaling underneath this card if I wanted to, but I decided just to kind of have, I guess, the title of this, which is Trust in God. So I'm layering a couple of those journaling cards up together. I really love that Trust in God piece, but it was kind of getting lost with my little pattern over there on the left-hand side. So I layered this other color or this other card, which I love this card too. And that's the nice thing about printables is I can reprint them. No problem. I don't have to feel like I need to hoard things. I can reprint things over and over and over again. And so if you have some favorite elements from Creative Retreat, some favorite journaling cards, the nice thing about the printables is you can, have like 30 of them if you want and put them on every entry. So that's kind of a nice thing about the printables. But I added one of the stickers and added the date just so I could come back to this, at the end of 2021 and see, what happened with those plans that I was praying over. I always find that really interesting. And that's one of the reasons I date a lot of my stuff is to go back. I've been Bible journaling since 2015. And so it's very interesting to go back and see how things have changed or prayers have changed or plans have changed. And that's just one of the many reasons why I document the date. So on the right-hand side, I'm pulling out the stamp set and it has this My Prayer piece, which is perfect because that's what I'm doing over here is praying. So I layered some Victorian velvet paint down underneath there. And then I'm stamping with some Planetarium Creative Retreat ink over the top of that. Typically, I stamp over paints with archival inks, but these inks are permanent once they dry. And so as long as you just make sure that it's heat set and dry, you are good to go to stamp over paints and things. So same thing on the bottom here. I pulled out a couple of the stickers and paired them together. So it says, "You are trustworthy." I want to remind myself to fully trust God's plans. They are probably going to look very different from what I think my plans are for 2021. And I need to be in constant reminder that I need to fully trust that His plans are better than my plans. I am a control freak, and I know many of you suffer from the same thing, and it's difficult to give up control or to have an outcome be different than what I thought that it would be. And so I just need to remind myself that, trust in God. He knows way better than I do. And I'll be praying over that. I'm going back in with this little media tool. It's like a little silicone applicator and applying some Tattered Rose paint. I felt like there wasn't enough of that peachy color in that printable. And so now at this point, I'm just going in and just doing some aesthetic stuff, just bouncing color around, evening things out. This is not necessary. This is just a creative process. Like I had the Victorian velvet swatches on the right-hand side, but didn't have any of that color on the left-hand side. So I'm going in and just adding some little freehand scallops, and doodles and things like that. So at this point, it's just like design elements, not anything, deepening my faith. It's just artwork and things like that. So just adding that to the top and the bottom of that journaling card. And this is a great time and a great project to experiment. Maybe you're not comfortable with watercolors or painting flowers freehand or something like that. And you could definitely practice those kind of skills in a project like this. So there's a look at my prayer layout. I'll be doing my prayer journaling off camera. I will have everything linked down below for you guys. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.